The following is a transcript between Matías De Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am, originally produced on June 7th, 2021, under the constellation of Gemini, in the mental week examining through the knee chakra, me. The search for stability, for being in one place, is what gives us the feeling of being fixed in a specific place, while doing drives us to move, to generate things outside. How to manage the actions of movement and fixation. I am. This duality leads us to the most ancestral dilemma of a human culture, nomadism or sedentarism. Let's start by remembering the universal fundamentals of movement and stability. Do you remember? Me. The universe is a constant of movement, vibrating waves creating different frequencies that propel particles through the constants of time and space. I am. What about stability? Me. It is the quest to save energy that is dispersed by motion, where particles are grouped together by resonance, creating structures where they share energy and thus stabilize. I am. Right. Looking at it from the universal vision, everything that exists is permanently in a development of movement and stabilization that are consistent with each other. Stability groups particles that makes up structure, but at a moment they exhaust their reserves, driving themselves to seek more energy, which burst with stability to absorb energy from space. And this changes drive motion, which performs a chain effect throughout space. This transforms the structures that the wave passes through, forcing them to rearrange themselves into a new fixed structure. Me. As you once explained, that motion and stability can be understood as a journey of a train along various stations where it stops at different times to exchange energy in the form of cargo or passengers, and then continue on its journey. I am. That's right. In this way, you can understand that moving or settling in one place are constant processes, and that all the plant and animal kingdoms are perfectly compliant. Both kingdoms move through space looking for resources and adapt themselves stably in a place that gives them what they need until the environment changes, and they must move again to the next one, to another station. Me. Like plants looking for minerals in the soil, and because of climate change, droughts or floods, they grow in other places, and animals follow those plants, while predators follow those first animals. I am. And that's how the human arose. First of all, as a hominoid, a sedentary being, living in a forest, feeding on fruits, insects, and roots. The word sedentary comes from the Latin sedere, to sit, and ante, entity or being, which gives rise to sedens or sedens, meaning who seems to be sitting. The concept describes that person, animal, or thing that sits in one place, giving the terms of sedentarism, sedentary, or sediment. Hominoids emerged as such, moving in limited areas in the forest of Africa, but like all hominoid populations, as the population grew, they had to divide into herds. Since many males could not live together in the same group, they had to move. Me. And that's how nomadism arose. Its origin is the mixture of two terms, Numada, a tribe from Sahel, a sub-Saharan region where people were shepherds and traveled from one place to the other with their animals, and on the other hand, from its conjunction to the Greek verb nemen, to pasture, to graze, to spread, that comes from nomos, pasture. In a certain way, both are related to pasture and livestock, to the idea of traveling in search of good pastures, and to the sharing of territory. Due to climatic circumstances, humans had to leave the forest and begin to follow the animals, even domesticating some that they took from one place to another in search of pasture and water, which made them nomadic. It was these cultures that took humans around the world. We are children of movement. Migrations have been the key to human perfection. To migrate is a concept that comes from the Indo-European me, which means to move out, to change places. Movement, therefore, of the Indo-European origin, mu, describes the innate human characteristics of moving. However, it is related to any attitude that implies manifesting an outward energy. Me, and in sedentarism, is it to be fixed? I am. To fix or fix something comes from dahing, which is to stick something against something, to nail it. This reference in sedentarism is clear when describing the ancient stories of the founders of civilizations. They all stuck a stick in the ground and expressed, "Here we will build a civilization." Like Manco Capac for Quechua, stories of the native peoples of North America, of Africa, of the Middle East. Putting the stick in the ground, nailing it, laying the foundation stone, mark the axis of the beginning of sedentarism. Like the shepherd who leaves his staff and builds his house. Me. But does this imply that to be fixed is to have no movement? I am. No. To be fixed implies finding the axis. Imagine a bamboo forest whose canes grow fixed, firm, strong, and yet they are flexible, and they allow themselves to be moved by the wind and dance in circles and ellipses. Me. To be firm and flexible like bamboo. That does not break or even bend. I am. Let us, then, understand the more philosophical concept of this matter. People often live between two worlds, movement and fixation. For most, moving is a waste of energy, as it is for atoms. So they seek stability, to fix themselves in one place, to stay there. What is counterproductive in both cases is the constant movement prevents the anchoring of firm and strong bases for the future, while being fixed gives us rigid structures. Rigid and fixed people interpret movement as a kind of crisis, a change, which awakens fear and insecurity, instability to what they have built. Beliefs, routines, life patterns, they design their life brick by brick, rigidly shaping their existence. This hardens the character and makes it hard and coarse. This will generate problems in the long term because in the time of change, it will be impossible for them to adapt, and when the environment forces them to bend, they will break. Me, crisis, breakage, rupture, is what many families and individuals experience when they have their beliefs or life formats so schematized. I am. It is necessary to dare to move, to live different situations in different environments, learn from things that you have never seen or felt before, and open yourself to a world to understand new options. Me. What I see in people, families, and societies that fail is the need to maintain an idea above reality, like basing all decisions on something merely ideological, without logic at a contextual level, like when a country closes itself to see how others obtain better results with a methodology, to stay with only what it thinks, no matter how bad the results may be. I have always wondered about this. For example, if Finland is number 1 in the world in education, why do other countries waste time looking for other ways and do not analyze how to apply Finnish education? I am. Because there are many factors to take into account, and it's not just that education has stagnated in one pattern, but culture did. The economy did. All systems are stagnant, and applying change in just one would not produce a positive effect. It is necessary to produce structural changes and movement to make people more flexible to receive the new ones. It is not as easy as intimidating. but it implies knowing the internal conflicts. It is like wanting to help someone face fears of parachuting him without knowing what really is the origin, the source of the fear. People become fixed in themselves because of unfounded fears at the basis of their personality, of the creation of their being. Me, and those of us who move, what is our great conflict? I am not being able to embody. You, nomad, have embodied more things than ever since you were able to accept sedentaryism for more than a year. Moving only stirs but does not manifest. You need a fixed anchorage to manifest something concrete. When you find a firm place, it is like an island in the middle of the sea. You won't grow corn, potatoes, or raise chickens in the water. The stability of the waves produce insecurity in the long run because everything can change. It is fluctuating, and you can only take a few things with you that are useful. Me, the suitcase I always carry. I am. It's been years since you last painted pictures, since you wrote so much. Long time without listening to yourself in silence. When you found the place, you could see the next step, the foundation of the next step. Who only moves is a drop in the ocean. He who is only fixed in one place is more likely to break, but he who finds a fixed axis allows himself to sway in smooth, sweeping motions and has found the key to life. Me, the axis, like the earth, that moves fixed on an axis. I am, exactly. The circulation of blood is the firm axis of the bones, of the rotation of the earth on a north and south axis. The staff of power, inner rod, that allows you to always remember who you are, even if you move in many options. Building one's axis makes us fixed on the essence of who we are. Discovering who you are is what gives you the greatest access in life, and recognizing the place in the world that gives you that stability is what will allow you to manifest. Me. So I need to think about what place in the world gives me clarity, center, makes me feel at home, and to find a way to live in that place. I am. That's right. It may seem crazy from a sedentary reality fearing point of view, but it is the key to transcendence of being. Me. And in this way, never to stop, always to inquire further. I am. To move is to know, is to open oneself to existence, to growth, to allow energy to flow, nourishing the axis on which we are founded. Me, the two pillars of my life, the fixed axis and the movement. I am, the I, and the I am. Me. You know I'm doing everything I can from this stability to find my axis within. And so it is that I am manifesting as never before the places where I embody my mission, my being. I am. And when you do, you can move freely, knowing that your legacy is manifest. Me, I am your movement and constant generation. I am your fixed axis and constant harmony.
Heart